side, please.
I'm sorry. Well, this is terrible, isn't it? Just terrible. I mean, who in the world would want to kill poor Mr. Carlyle?
Well, that should about do it, Casey. Let's get back to the lab. Oh, I wouldn't touch anything around here until the detectives get here.
You suppose they'll catch the culprit?
Sure. Today's policemen are careful, meticulous, highly trained specialists.
Police! That must be them now.
Officer Kravitz?
Officer Honeywell.
Well, I notice you haven't lost your touch, Honeywell.
Don't get smart, Doc. All right. What do we got here?
Well, victim died of strangulation. Of course, I'll know more once I get back to the lab.
All right. Casey, you got any more flashbulbs?
Sure, why?
Smile, Kravitz. Oh, yeah. All right, beat it, you guys. Get out of here. Move it! All right, now. Who are you?
I'm the butler.
Did you hear that, Kravitz? The butler.
Yeah. Remember the last case we were on? The butler did it. Yeah. His name was Jeeves.
Well, I, sir, have a perfect alibi.
What is it?
My name isn't Jeeves.
Yeah, we almost had him, Sarge.
Well, there's no proof there, Kravitz. He could be lying. Now, how do we know your name isn't Jeeves?
Because it's Baldwin.
Any proof?
Yes. Call me.
All right, go ahead, call him.
No, you call him.
You call him.
I don't even know the guy.
You call him.
All right. Jeeves!
Baldwin!
Yes, sir?
He's right, Sarge.
All right. What's the victim's name?
Jeffrey Carlyle.
Uh-huh. This is Pad?
Is what?
His pad. It's a little slang. Come on, you've heard slang slung.
All right. Anybody else in the house? Anybody else in the house?
I heard the question.
All right, then answer me.
Yes?
I'm running a short fuse as it is right now.
All right, who's in the house?
Now,
Who's in the house?
Baldwin.
Come on.
Who else in the
Get
house?
out, Baldwin.
Who are you trying to hide from, Baldwin? Come on!
This is funny, huh, Baldwin?
I don't mean to giggle, but it's the victim's widow.
Oh. Well, I hate to bother the lady in her time of grief, but tell her to trot out.
Yes, sir. I'll tell her that the fuzz is here.
Well, move it! What do you mean by fuzz? What's that fuzz?
Yeah, it's butler slang. You know, you've heard slang slung. People slang slang.
All right. You know what's the part I hate? What's it? Talking to the bereaved relatives in their time of tragedy.
Oh, Sarge, please, let me do the questioning. Please, this time, Sarge.
All right. But one mistake, and I take over. And remember, she just lost her husband, so go easy, go easy, go easy.
Madam, the fuzz.
All right, why'd you kill him? Come on, split out.
Let's check the body. Ma'am, you'll have to excuse my partner, Kravitz. He's a little over-anxious. They're holding up his retirement until he makes his first arrest. All right, now, I know this has been a severe shock to you, but if you feel up to it, I'd like to ask you a few questions.
Well, I certainly hope this isn't going to take very long because I have a tennis lesson.
Life goes on, huh, Mrs. Carlyle? Life goes on.
Sarge, come here.
I am here.
No, over here. Look. Look at that, huh?
Ring around the collar. So what? Guy's dead. No time to discuss his laundry.
Now, up here. Look at the mark around his throat, huh? Obviously, he was strangled by a thin, flexible object like a wire or a cord or even a small chain.
That's ridiculous, Kravitz. You can't tell that by a mark on a guy's neck. Let's leave that up to the crime lab, huh? That's their job. That's their job. I'll get that if you don't mind. I love doing that. I do it to my wife. Scares her to death. Sergeant Honeywell. Crime lab, what do you got? He was strangled by a thin, flexible object like a wire or a cord or even a small chain.
Could that be a watch chain?
Yeah.
Well, Baldwin carries a pocket watch.
You hear that, Kravitz? A pocket watch.
Right. But how could he get the victim's head into his pocket?
Get him in here, will you? Move it! All right, Kravitz. Kravitz, when he comes back, ask him what time it is so we can check the evidence. We'll trick him, see?
Trick him. Right, gotcha.
You rang, madam?
Yes, Baldwin, these gentlemen would like to ask you a few questions.
Yes?
What time is it? It's 3 o'clock.
Baldwin, that's an interesting-looking watch chain you have there.
Thank you.
Hey, can I see it?
Certainly.
All right. Now, what we're going to do here is set up a hypothetical situation. A real one. Now, all right. You pretend to be the victim,
okay,
and I come up behind you with a watch chain, Kravitz.
Right.
Now, tell me, would this be strong enough to kill a man with? Could I strangle you with that? Could I? Answer me, Kravitz. Come on. Kravitz, answer me. Would this be strong enough to kill you with? Would it be strong enough?
Would be.
All right. Baldwin, you're under arrest for the strangulation murder of Jeffrey Carlisle, which you have just witnessed here on live action replay, even as it was committed at the time of the actual crime. Now, you did it with that watch chain.
Sir, I didn't even have that watch chain until this morning when she gave it to me.
Where were you when your husband, the late, now deceased Mrs. Carlisle, now you're Mrs. Carlisle, when he, Mr. Carlisle, was killed?
I was taking a shower.
Any witnesses?
Really?
Well, I'm afraid I'm going to take you downtown.
No, wait. I can't let you do this to her. There's something that I haven't told you.
Get this down, Kravitz. I think Baldwin is going to give us a little confession, right, Baldwin?
Yes, sir. Well, you see, I saw her taking her shower.
Baldwin, I'm disappointed in you.
Likewise, madam.
Well, we're back where we started, Kravitz. Must be some way to trap this killer. Something unusual, clever, inventive.
How about a motive?
Now, that's an old trick, but it just might work. But why would anyone want to kill a nice old millionaire? Millionaire? Do you know if your husband left, not you, do you know if your husband left a will?
Well, I never saw one, but why don't you ask Baldwin? He seems to keep his eye on everything.
How about it, Baldwin? Did you ever see his will?
No. Well, I mean, there were some things that Mr. Carlisle didn't want me to see.
Check the desk, Kravitz.
It's in the
Lower
lower
right-hand drawer. You can't miss
it.
Aha! Last will and testament. Ah!
Evidence, Kravitz?
Oh, I think I got a paper cut, son.
All right. This is going to lead us right to the murderer. Read it, Kravitz.
Okay.
Out loud, read it.
Oh, okay, Sarge. I, Jeffrey Carlisle, hereby bequeath to my faithful wife, Elizabeth, the sum of $10 million.
Aha!
And to my butler, $20 million.
Aha! All right, I'm taking you both in. Hey!
Hey, just a minute, Sarge. Hey, look at this. There's something written on the back, and it's dated yesterday.
What's it say?
On second thought, to my wife, who makes such a spectacle of herself taking a shower, I leave absolutely nothing. And as for Baldwin, who's always watching my wife, he gets nothing. He's weird. And so, I leave my entire fortune to the only real friend I ever had, Walter.
Walter?
Who's Walter?
He's my husband's pet cat.
He left $30 million to a cat?
Yes. And he calls me weird.
Sarge, I know who the murderer is.
Who?
Nobody else. There's only one with a motive. The murderer must be the cat.
Kravitz, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Ouch! The man's a beast.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. That was the lab. Jeffrey Carlisle was strangled by a ball of red yarn, as I had earlier ascertained. I still don't understand how a little cat could strangle a grown man.
There's something else in that drawer, Sarge.
What?
We've got to find that animal. Mrs. Carlisle, Baldwin, Kravitz, we're dealing with a cat who's what we call your D&D. You're desperate and dangerous.
And W.
And W?
Wealthy.
All right. Prepare now for the biggest cat hunt in the history of crime. Kravitz, Mrs. Carlisle, Baldwin, let's go.
Here, kitty.
Here, kitty. Here, kitty.